ever stumbled upon a garden, one that just grabs you and it feels like, a secret hideaway, like a little world tucked away from everything else. You instantly feel relaxed, like you've discovered your own personal oasis.
It's amazing how just a few well-placed elements can completely transform a simple backyard into, a series of these interconnected sanctuaries.
And that's exactly what we're diving into today, the art of designing those magical spaces, what gardening enthusiasts call garden rooms.
It's such a cool concept, isn't it? Dividing your outdoor space into these distinct rooms, each with its own personality, its own little purpose.
Absolutely. And for this deep dive, we're drawing inspiration from a fantastic blog post, a practical guide to designing amazing garden rooms.
Oh, I love that post.
It's from Sage Osterfeld, a passionate gardener over at Sage's Acre.
Their insights are spot on.
Yeah.
What I really appreciate about Sage's approach is that emphasis on, creating a sense of journey and discovery in the garden.
It's true.
Like a truly captivating garden, it's not just about the visual, right?
Yeah.
It's that feeling, how you actually experience moving through the space.
Mm-hmm.
It should beckon you to explore, to linger in those hidden corners, uncover those little secrets.
Right, like the garden itself is whispering, come on, follow me, there's more to see over here. And speaking of secrets, Sage is all about creating that sense of mystery right from the get-go.
Oh, tell me more.
With hidden entrances, they're big on that.
Yes. That idea of a partially obscured entrance.
Yes.
Whether it's a gate that's, covered in vines, fragrant vines, or a winding path that disappears behind a bunch of trees.
Oh, I love that.
It makes you want to know what's beyond,
It totally taps into that curiosity.
Exactly.
And Sage isn't just talking about any old gate either. They describe these, they're just incredibly charming gates. And they're designed to, for a very specific purpose. To keep their chickens in and their dog out of the vegetable patch.
Multifunctional. I love it.
It just goes to show, right, that functionality and aesthetics can totally go hand in hand.
Absolutely. It reminds me of Japanese gardens, and how they use those screens, those strategically placed plantings.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
Oh, yeah.
The goal isn't to, totally block your view, but just to create that sense of anticipation. You get these little glimpses of what's to come, but there's still that element of mystery.
So it's not even just about what's behind the gate or around the bend. It's that feeling, the anticipation of being drawn deeper into the space.
Exactly. That feeling of, ooh, I wonder what's next.
I'm hooked already. So what else can we learn from Sage about creating these secluded garden rooms, these escapes?
Well, once you're actually inside one of these garden rooms, Sage talks about using natural elements to, kind of define the walls. They're big on strategically placed hedges.
Makes sense.
Trellises with climbing vines on them, and even using the changes in elevation to create a sense of enclosure.
Well, that's clever, using what's already there.
Exactly. Work with the land.
I love that. And they paint such a vivid picture in their writing, too. There's this one part where they describe a path leading to their vegetable garden. And just imagine this. You're walking along and sunlight is dappling through the trees, right through a canopy of trees. And then suddenly you're in what Sage calls a fragrant sage forest. Oh, you're speaking my language. I am all about that sensory experience, especially in the garden. But what comes to mind is okay, you've created these rooms, but what about a roof? Do you need a pergola or something to get that room-like feel?
Yeah, you could totally go for a built structure, something like that.
Yeah.
But Sage makes a really good point that nature often provides the best kind of canopy.
Oh, interesting.
Think about being under a tree and that dappled shade, or how vines can grow over a pathway and create almost like a living roof.
I love that. And they even have this one section of their vegetable garden that's sheltered by a gourd roof. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's this canopy made entirely of gourds.
I love that so much. That's amazing.
Isn't that fun? Talk about sustainable design.
Yeah, and what's so cool is that it's they're using biomimicry, drawing inspiration from nature itself. That feeling of being enveloped, whether you're under a gourd roof or under a canopy of trees, it just speaks to the human desire for shelter and protection.
It's like the garden giving you a big hug, basically.
Exactly.
Okay, sold on the gourd roof. But once you've got these cozy outdoor rooms, you need someone to actually sit and enjoy them, right?
Absolutely. Sage is all about creating what they call destination points within each garden room. So these are strategically placed spots that are just designed for you to relax, to reflect, or just take in the view,
And Sage does not disappoint when it comes to these destination points. I was reading through their blog post, and they've got cozy benches tucked away in these quiet little corners and tables, perfectly placed for like an afternoon tea party, even a whole deck for watching the sunset.
How lovely.
I know, it's amazing.
What I love is how intentional they are about creating these different spaces for different moods and different moments.
Oh.
It's not just about having a place to plop down. It's about creating a space to pause, to breathe, to really connect with nature in a more mindful way.
It's true. It's like bringing that mindfulness practice into your backyard just without all the, meditation. But you can't just like throw a bench anywhere, right? There's got to be some thought behind it. And Sage talks about the transitions between these different garden rooms.
Oh, absolutely. Think of it this way, like chapters in a book. Each garden room should flow into the next. You want to build that sense of anticipation, that sense of discovery.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you create that flow?
Well, they use a really cool example in the blog post. They describe this pathway, and it starts out all rustic with these rough-hewn wood steps, and you're surrounded by all these plants. But as you get closer to this secluded deck, the path changes. It transitions to these smooth stone pavers.
Well, that's a nice touch.
Right, subtle, but it changes the whole mood.
I like that. And it makes total sense if you think about it. You're going from this kind of wild natural area to a more refined space.
Exactly. That change in materials from wood to stone, it just creates this subtle shift in the experience. It's like the garden saying, hey, slow down. You're almost there.
It's like the garden itself is a storyteller.
Yes, exactly. And the plants are like the words.
Yeah.
Oh,
I like that.
Sage talks about using different textures and colors, even scents, to create a completely different atmosphere in each garden room.
So it's about thinking about the whole picture.
Absolutely.
Okay, so speaking of plants, I have to admit something. I'm a bit of a control freak when it comes to my garden. I like things, neat and tidy, maybe a little too much.
Oh, I hear you. It's easy to get caught up in the details.
Right. But Sage seems to really embrace a more relaxed approach.
Well, there's definitely a beauty to that, to that controlled chaos.
Yeah, maybe I need to loosen up a little.
Sage talks about the importance of just letting go a bit, allowing plants to self-sow and to spill over the pathways. It creates that wild, natural look.
In their blog post, they even say, don't be afraid to let nature be your co-designer.
I love that.
I do too.
And it's not just for the aesthetic. It's actually really beneficial for the ecosystem, too.
Oh, how so?
By going with this more naturalistic planting style, you're creating all this habitat for pollinators and other beneficial creatures.
So you're increasing biodiversity and creating a more visually interesting garden all at the same time.
Exactly. It's a win-win.
I like those. And speaking of working with nature, Sage is a big advocate for designing with the seasons in mind.
Definitely.
Now, they live in California, so they have the luxury of gardening year-round.
Lucky them.
I know, but their blog post really stresses choosing plants that offer something unique no matter the season.
Right. And that's such good advice for anyone, no matter where you live. You want to have something beautiful to look at, even in the middle of winter.
So think about things with different bloom times, or maybe interesting foliage, or even those plants with colorful berries that stick around through the colder months.
Exactly. It's all about extending that visual interest throughout the year.
So we've talked about hidden entrances and these fragrant sage forests and gourd roofs. I mean, the list goes on. Is there anything else we can learn from Sage about designing these amazing garden rooms?
Well, it's like when you put together an outfit and you add that, perfect scarf or that necklace.
The perfect finishing touch.
Yes, it just pulls the whole look together. You're totally reading Sage's mind. They actually use that same analogy in the blog post.
They do.
It's all about those finishing touches, the things that add personality and charm to your garden rooms.
Okay, so spill.
Yeah.
What kind of treasures are we talking about? What does Sage sprinkle throughout their garden?
Well, they're big fans of solar lights.
Okay.
And not like those super bright spotlights, but the ones that give off that soft, almost magical glow in the evening.
Oh, that's nice.
Imagine how those would look on your sunset viewing deck.
It's mood lighting for the garden.
Yeah.
I love that idea. What else?
Let's see. Oh, Sage is also all about that whimsy. They incorporate these really fun sculptures and decorative elements, tucked in amongst the plants.
Oh, that's cute.
It's those little personal touches, the things that just make you smile and make the space feel like it's really yours.
And I'm going to guess no garden room is complete without a birdhouse or two.
Sage, they're all about creating a welcoming space for wildlife, too, not just people. And a well-placed birdhouse or maybe a feeder adds a charming focal point, while providing for our feathered friends.
Absolutely. Well, this has been such an inspiring deep dive.
It has.
We've covered so much, from those hidden entrances and fragrant sage forests all the way to gourd roofs and mood lighting.
Don't forget the importance of letting things go a little wild, too.
That's right. Embrace the chaos. I'm ready to get out into the garden.
Me too. And that's what I love about Sage's whole philosophy. It's not about following a set of rules. It's about tapping into your creativity and letting your garden be an expression of your style.
It's true. And the best part is you don't need a massive backyard to create those magical spaces.
Nope, not at all.
Even a tiny balcony or a small patio can be transformed into, that little secluded oasis with a bit of imagination.
Absolutely. Work with what you have and enjoy the process.
Sage ends their blog post with a really thought-provoking question. If your garden could transport you anywhere in the world, what kind of secret room would you create?
Oh, what a question. It really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? Gardens are more than just plants. They're about experiences, memories, and that connection with nature.
So as you head out into your own backyard, we'll leave you with that same question. What kind of secret garden room will you create?